All right.
All right. Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Hey there, man. All right. So just wanted to kind of go over. Yeah, and I just got to the office and I've not looked at your email. Ryan said you sent a bunch of properties over that just look like they're in really rough shape. And believe me, you're doing great. It's not that. And it's not that we ever throw anything overboard. It's just when we're looking, I wanted to kind of go deeper, after, basically following up on our conversation yesterday, going deeper into deal analysis.
Hmm.
Also, I did send to what's his name this morning, the guy from Jeanette. So at some point, if you want to follow up with him and say, "Hey, listen, got any questions? Whatever."
Okay,
Mm,
we'll
kind
do.
of, kind of see what he's up to. So, um, I mean, I expect he's going to react to a couple things. I expect he's going to react to the fact that it's a listing agreement, not a sales agreement. But just tell him this is how we do it because of the new wholesale law. And in fact, I'll also throw it on the group text as well. I know he needed to send us something too.
I think you said another. You wanted another email.
Well, okay. So sorry, I actually kept that one in draft. He doesn't have that one yet. So all
Okay.
you're doing is following up and saying, "Hey, you mentioned you wanted to get together this morning, yada yada yada."
Okay.
Because he needs to send us the entity because we don't know how it's titled. We only
Gotcha.
have his first name. We don't have the partner's name at all,
Right.
or the partner's email. So we don't have a lot of the important stuff.
Okay.
Um, so all right. So back to, and I'm just going to see if you might have just sent it to Ryan. I'm not sure. I'm just looking to see.
No, I put both. I put.
Oh, you did?
I'm
Okay.
pretty
Let
sure
me
I
see.
put both of y'all on there.
Oh, there it is. Okay, off market clear. Now, where did these come from? Are you sure it's the owner or not a wholesaler?
This can't. I because I asked him. He sent me these because I had put a little thing out in the groups. Like my team and I we work with my team that I work with. We're investors. We're wholesalers. I made it very clear.
Yeah,
Okay, made that very clear.
yeah,
And he sent me these, and he said, and I was like, "Are you the owner?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, then what's your reason for selling?" He was like, "I'm a flipper, and I'm just trying to move some inventory." So then when I looked at it, I was already going in thinking, I'm like, maybe he took on more than he can handle because I'm looking at it, and it like Ryan said, it's just heavy rehab. So I said, okay, well, let me just look over the information and we'll get back to you. And he said, okay. Because I asked
yeah.
him specifically, I said, do you own these properties? He said, yes, I
Okay.
own them.
All right. So, and just so you know, like this is the reason we have the form. This is the reason we have the
Yeah,
questions because what we have here isn't. I mean, what I would need from you is at least. I mean, you put it in the form. I mean, we want to put everything in the form, but at least, hey, this is what Batch Lead said about it. This is what Zillow said about it. Here's the Batch Lead link. Here's the Zillow link. You run all the comps and give it to us because we don't know. Asking 17,000 comps he provided don't matter to us
right.
because he's going to look at the comps and pick the top comp. He's not going to look and pick the middle comp. So
Yeah,
now, in a again, I'm not saying you have to do that here because let's find out if it's even close to real. But basically, the short version is the broker and me, the boss and me says, yeah, you need to do that here. But the other part of me says, okay, maybe is okay, on this particular one because I don't expect these are going to go anywhere. And here's why I don't expect they're going to go anywhere is that and because he sent you a bulk and a bulks are great. Don't get me wrong. But if you're
right.
looking at 109, 124, 165, so really, you know, 40 the 40th percentile between 109, 124, 165. So the average of those three, let's see, 109 plus 124 plus 165
He did
equals.
say the prices are negotiable because I did ask that because I was looking at the
Yeah,
prices. I said these can only work if we like if you firm on these, not helping you. Like
yeah.
it's ridiculous.
I
He
mean,
was
like
like
so
they are.
this, yeah. So this one, 38th Street, Cleveland. The average of those three is 99 grand. So realistically, the 40th percentile, which is a little below average, is probably like 90 grand, 95 grand. I'd have to see where that there's a formula for that, but basically, we got to be done 90 grand. The flipper has to be done 90 grand. Or sorry, the flipper is going to sell it now. Also, because again we're going blind. Are these comps? in this condition or in Dipton condition. This is why you got to check them out. You got to run your own comp.
Yeah, I
and
am.
be able to say Dipton, yeah. But basically, if that's the sold comp, then if that's truly the sold comp, and we'll take a quick look, we'll throw it into Zillow real quick right now. If that's truly the sold comp, okay, it just sold for $8,400. Now, also another question to ask people. So it's a 1,000 square feet. Oh my God, where in 1,000 square feet are they putting 3 bedrooms? What are these, cat bedrooms?
Cat bedroom.
Yeah, like I don't know, but so the Zestimate doesn't matter so much. What
Right.
you do then is again with Zillow, you just pop behind, and you say sold, and you do other more like square footage, for example. We've got to be under 1,100. Yeah, okay, fine. I got to be under. This one I go okay, going under 1,000.
Well, first of all, before you get too deep into it, I want you to know that the screen is black.
Oh, that would be helpful. Okay,
if you were showing something, because it seemed like you were showing something. So
yeah, I was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was just your camera's off, and I'm looking. I'm like, oh, the whole screen is black, like both.
No, so okay. So I mustn't have ever connected. There we go. Right, you told me that. So basically, we're seeing nothing under 1,000 square feet.
Right.
We're seeing now we go in more, and we go square feet again, and we go, let's say 1,250. See if anything comes up 1,250. And yes, this should be done in batch leads.
Right.
Because so basically, so what we would need to do is we would need to go into batch leads, which I think my batch leads is open over here.
Yeah, and I was doing all of this. I just wanted y'all to know what I got.
Yeah, no. Getting a guy that has a bunch he wants to dump is great. We just have to see how nuts he is.
Yeah. That's what I was already assuming. Because I was looking at it, I was like, it's no way. I was like, I hope you don't think. I hope. Because the delusion would just be insane. You might need to be put in a mental institution, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much what it is. You say, okay, sold in the last 12 months. We don't like that because the market's changing so freaking fast and in a bad direction.
Right.
Located within 1 mile, we would much rather be located, especially it's clearly it's a metro area. We got to be located within a half mile.
Right.
So somewhere like Jeanette, okay, you might have to stretch that math. And then we come down here, we say, okay, wow, there's nothing for comps. But 1,000 square foot, okay, that's fairly similar looking house. We have no interior pictures, however. And it's sold for $77,000. And this is when you start playing your square. You start playing your mileage circle, and you start playing your timeline circle, and you also start playing your square foot circle. Like we said, square foot plus or minus 20%. Let's go plus or minus 30%. Let's see if that gets us anymore. And it's a little bit of an art to whether to which ones get. Okay, that didn't get you shit. Then you go, and this is why you've got PropStream. We've got other tools, but you're looking at, okay, you're saying, we're just going to open it wide up and be like, all right, where's the 12 month? Where's the 12 month? Now we have 7. All right, so now we have 7. And we're very much focused on our distance, yes, but we're focused on our square footage. Okay, so we have 1,092, which is the one we just looked at that sold for 77. If you're at 1,200, you're at 167, which isn't killer bigger a lot. 170, oh, that's really big. No, it's not. Yeah, 1,300. And again, it's hard to say because you've got, 200 square feet's not a lot, but 200 is a lot compared, 200 of 1,000 is 20%.
Right.
So like we aren't really, so it's like, okay, what's a lot of square footage when you get there? So anyway, so a little of this becomes art-ish. But you say, all right, I got a 12. So this is a huge lot. So we like big lots. So that's that one. That's that one, 1,276. How many pictures did they give us? Okay, these are all one picture. So we got not a lot of good shit to go on. But really what we're saying is, I mean, if we average this, so let's say 1,200 is the average on the square footage,
And that's 20.
and then we average the numbers. Um,
So on PropStream, it's saying the average sale for that like area is like 164.
for a 1 bedroom, 1,000 square foot.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no. Well, because I'm looking at, I put the address in. It's 3 beds, 1 bath, 1,000. Yep, 1,000 square foot. Yeah,
Yeah,
164,
but are the
475.
comps it's showing you 1,000 square footers?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. 1,200 square foot, 1,092, 900, 1,192.
Right. So the ones that are around 1,000, what are they selling at?
77.49. One sold. 1,000 flat. 1,000 flat sold it for $8,200. 8,232.
And what do they look like inside?
Trying to click it right now.
Yeah, because it's a matter of looking at all of that. Because if 77 is crappy shape, or is 77 dipped in gold shape? Is 100 crappy shape? Is 100 dipped in gold shape?
Well, it doesn't. It's not showing any pictures. It's just showing Skyview like it normally does.
I thought it's been a long time since I've used it. I thought PropStream you could link over. Well, you can at least Zillow the addresses. You can at least Google the addresses.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do right now, actually.
But basically, so like 1,200 square feet, you're seeing like what, 120, 150?
Yeah.
Which one, 120 or 150?
Oh well, the range of that, I want to say the highest I'm looking at.
No. We don't go highest.
Oh, we don't go. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So here's the important sort of teaching part of it.
Right.
What we're caring about it's not. It is never the highest. We're caring about, and I'm just putting this in for a second. So we're caring about the dipped in gold. Okay, so there's two things we're looking at. This is a bad property. Not a lot is coming up. You want to see if there are any solds that look like yours. And one picture doesn't tell them. You look like yours inside too. They look like yours outside. They look like yours inside. If there's any solds like that. So if there was a sold that said this thing sold for 40 grand, something sold for 40 grand in this condition, then okay, then we know 40 grand is the comp for this condition. We then look and say, is 100 grand or 120 grand? He gave us 109, 124, 165. So is the 165 the same square footage? Is the 165 dipped in gold, totally renovated? Is the 165 2,000 square feet? What is the 165? What generates that? And so like this is Sterling Court, so it's a lot bigger. It is a whole third of a house bigger.
Right. I see.
And there's no pictures inside, but I'm seeing newer windows. I'm seeing nice siding. I'm seeing whatever. It's not a crap hole. So it's a third of a house bigger, and it's a third of a house more than the comps. So it's not a valid comp because it's a third of a house bigger.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to examine, because square footage matters.
Right.
Quality of finish matters. Bedrooms, bathrooms matters. So this is where you're going and you're looking at your comps and you're saying, all right.
So he basically just threw wild ass comps.
Yeah. I mean,
which is why we
it's
do our
slightly
own
bigger
research
and it's
anyway.
dipped in gold.
Yeah.
And of course, again, slightly bigger. It's only 100 square foot bigger, but it's 10% bigger. So like,
right.
But per square foot bigger matters a little more than percentage bigger. But this is dipped in gold. So the best we're going to see is probably 110, 120.
Yeah, because looking at the comps on prop stream, that true ARV range, yeah, is probably like one between 115 and 135, unless my math is off.
And the thing
Really,
is, 135 is the 135 really 1,000 square feet?
that's the question. That's why I'm about to really,
Yeah, because it's not about your math. It's about what the chart says.
yeah,
Now we take a look and we say, okay, um,
yeah, definitely not 1,000 square feet flat. No,
right.
I wouldn't say it's flat. No, not
So
at all.
you're then looking at you're then looking at it and you're saying, okay, um, you're then looking at it and you're saying, okay, how do I put this? You're looking at it and saying, is that broken? This shouldn't be. Yeah, I think this is the wrong evaluator for some reason. I'm not sure why. So you're then looking at it. Oh no, okay. So this is the right one. Okay, good. So you're then looking at it and you're saying, okay, if it's, let's even say it's 120, 130. I'll use 120 first of all because it's lower, but second of all because so how big is the one for 135?
The 135. Is it at the bottom? Where did it go? So the 135 is about approximately 1152.
All right. So and what's it look like? What's the inside look like?
This
Completely
again.
renovated, dipped in gold, not dipped in gold.
I'm trying to. My Zillow's loading up.
All right. So
See,
while that's loading up, I'll take you through what else I'm seeing. And I'm using and this is a thing I want you to do, but nothing makes our decisions for us. But if you, in your Dropbox, we take a quick look at what this house needs.
okay. Well, Zillow. It just loaded up. Zillow doesn't have. It only has one street view picture. So I'm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So I
I'm.
mean, if we
Yeah.
can't see inside of it, you're assuming what?
So I'm assuming from the outside. From the outside, it does look like fairly new though. Like it looks
Yeah.
like we just
I
keep
gotta
seeing
believe
it.
for 135 in that market, it's going to be dipped in gold because
Yeah.
one of these I just pulled up here, 124, 1,100 square feet, and that thing is freaking dipped in gold.
Yeah. Top tier.
So everything has been touched. Now we look here. Our
Okay.
siding. First of all, our structure is not what you would consider a normal house. This is
Right.
not this was a general store at some point, almost guaranteed. Second of all, siding is crap.
Right.
Oh my god! So there is nothing in this house of value. There's no windows of value. There's nothing of value. Um, in fact, it might be more expensive to rebuild than to replace.
And that's what I told him. I said some of these might be
If
more
he's a flipper,
expensive.
he knows it. That's why he's not doing these.
Yeah.
And that's not the greatest sign in the world. That's a hole in your foundation. That's your joist trying to hold up your house with nothing holding up your joist. So there is, I mean, this is a bad one to start with rehab estimating because there is nothing here. Now I see plywood. There is signs of plywood, so the roof at some point in the era of plywood was replaced, but who knows if that's 5 years ago, 30 years ago. I believe he bought these at tax sale. It would be my guess. But I am looking and saying, okay, 1,000 square feet, I am going to be damn near $100 a square foot. And how am I arriving at that number? I'm arriving at that number by saying, okay, and I can see how much moss is on this roof. It's not a new roof.
Right.
So I'm saying, all right, I got a dozen windows at $400 a window. I got siding. Let's say it's only 10 grand siding. It's not a lot of siding. I got a roof, 10 grand a roof. It's not a lot of roof. You know, I got 10 windows at 4 or 5 grand. plus some framing on those front windows because they're not normal size. I've got electrical. I've got heat. I've got all these things. That we have a rehab estimator for this.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you shortly. But basically, I'm saying, all right, if I've got 10 on a roof, 10 in siding, 5 in windows, 5 in just installing electric, not even wiring the house, I then got to go inside and spend at least 5 on the electric inside. So 10 in the roof, 10 in the siding, 5 in the windows, 5 in the landscaping. So it's now 30. 10 on the electrical. I'm now at 40.
40. Yeah.
I got to put a plumbing and heating system in there. So I'm going to be 50, 60. And that's before I've done anything other than inside the house that any owner is going to care about. I haven't put kitchens in there. I haven't put bathrooms in there. I haven't put anything in there. Then I have a paint and carpet. If my walls and everything are nice and I'm just updating them, that's going to be 10 or 15 bucks a square foot. So I've got 15 grand in that. So I'm now at 75. And I've done nothing, and I've not put in any drywall, which this house needs drywall. So I'm quickly exceeding what this house is worth. I'm already darn close to what this house is worth because if I'm 75 now, and then I got to put in kitchens and bathrooms, I got another 15, 20 in that. And then I got to fix that foundation gap. So this house is out. There's nothing. I mean, I don't know why this person has this house.
Yeah.
Now, and here basically it's saying a 60 to 80 rehab.
Yeah.
And I would say that's even light, basically. And this is our AI. This is one of the links we have. So then, if the 120 comps, the problem is it's a thin margin because the flipper that buys it from us has to be done for 70%. And remember, the 70% number has nothing to do with them making 30% profit. Nothing to do with that at all. It has everything to do with they got to pay their lender 15% of whatever they borrow. They got to pay their selling realtor and closing costs and transfer taxes and whatever, about 8% of the sale price.
Yeah.
So 8% of 120, 15% of the 100 grand they're going to have into it. So 100 grand purchase and rehab becomes 115 overnight. Then they've got to pay 8% to sell the thing. So there's another 10 grand. So now 100 became 115 with the lender, became 125 with the 8%, and they're going to sell it for 120. Seems like that would be a bad plan. And this is not that you shouldn't bring it to us. Anything you get, always bring to us. But part of where I want you guys to be going, and the reason the forum has so many questions is, first of all, we wouldn't have had to bounce around and say, gee, let's find this, let's find that. It's all in the form. If you've done the form right, it's all, and again, the form, email it to us, whatever. The point is, if it's all in one place, we'd already have this. Now let's look at this other one, because really a lot of this comes down to being able to look at a property and know, and I'm not asking you to know it enough to throw it out, but here, this one's a bit of a different animal. And this AI, do not take the AI as, oh, we're going to go to bed on the AI. We're not, okay? We're not going to go to bed. We're not going to go. I'm trying to figure out how to push this up so I can have more of them print out. But anyway, well, I guess the easy thing I could do is I could do this, or just download the pictures. Because the AI can swallow zip files, by the way. We're not going to go and say the AI said this, therefore that's our final answer.
All right.
But at the same time, and then again, 9801 Pratt Ave, we need comps. We need to know what those and Zillow is crappy comps. I'm using Zillow because I'm too lazy to use Athletes. But and I do not care. Please never tell me what this estimate is. It does not freaking matter. What matters is what pops up behind this estimate, or what matters is what's in batch leads. That's what matters. Because I want to know what the comps are in the area. Because without comps, and again, without 40 percentile comps, so this one's a lot more of a normal house. 1,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Hart Home Sales. That's who owns it. So some.
Oh, you're saying
company.
it's a lot more. It's a lot more manageable.
I mean, well, it's a normal size house. It's not how the hell do you fit 3 bedrooms in 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
You know, it's, and from the pictures they had there on what he gave us, it doesn't look like it's a complete crappy gut job. So I'll leave the 12 months in a year, because for this purposes, it isn't going to kill us. The only thing you care about is sold. We don't care. Well,
Okay.
John's asking this much money. I don't give a flying buck. So 1,269 on a 6,000 square foot lot. So now this one, okay, this is good. Got 47 pictures. Cutesy little house. Inside looks okay. That's been flipped. Somebody's paid attention to it.
Somebody, yeah, it does look updated.
Somebody did their thing and it sold for 105. And it's virtually the same. It's a 2-1 instead of a 3-1. Bedroom numbers matter, but whatever. We have a 3-1 1250, 47 pictures. Oh my God, these people like you to do 47 pictures, don't they? Which is good. The more pictures, the better. But again, okay, so dipped in gold. Now also notice something. If you see an overmount sink like this, first of all, this is almost a telltale. People almost never do this edge detail on their granite, and you'll never find. You see that funny curve. It's not a round. It's kind of a little curves, and then it curves again. That's almost always Formica. Not always, but almost always. If you zoom this in here and you see how this and this are, it's hard to tell, but these are one piece.
Also, I can see how they're one piece. Yep.
Yeah, and this is rounded off, so I can tell 7 different reasons I can tell this is Formica, which is fine. But when we say dipped in gold, it's what's dipped in gold for the neighborhood. Dipped in gold doesn't always mean granite if it's not a granite neighborhood. Also, if this was a granite neighborhood, they never would have left this rough surfacing. They would have gotten rid of that, probably. And that's fine. All of that tells us that's dipped in gold for the neighborhood. But okay, this place is dipped in gold. It sold for 115. Another one sold for 118. All right, so somewhere in that 105 to 118, 115 range, and you can keep going further. But we're going to tell the software. So 105 to 115. That's easy. That's a 10 split. 50 percentile would be 110. Okay, so 110, 108, something like that is our comps on the property. So when we're going in here, we're telling it. Is this one we're doing? I just want to make sure I'm not doing the wrong house. Yeah, no, this is Pratt. Okay, so this is Pratt. So we're going in here and we're telling it. And so now we've learned, and this is all a matter of just for putting stuff into the GPT, but it's also a matter of putting stuff into when we look at the actual pictures he gave us. So now we're going to look at the pictures he gave us. And what's it telling us that this property needs? All right, we have somebody just popped in or out. I'm not sure which. Gosh, Alex, we got to get you. Okay, Alex, if you can hear this, and I'll text you, you got to go on YouTube. Somehow you're not getting this way. You've been having trouble, but anyway. All right, so we have a house. It has stairs. There's carpet. All right, there's some drywall crap going on here, but all right, now, and you always look for what doesn't look right. Like
Looks
why
like
is that brighter?
Water damage.
Yeah, there's got to be some water damage. That looks brighter for some reason. Is that punched in? But clearly we have a much more finished house. It looks more like a house. But all right, and this is where you do things like you zoom in and say, okay, that looks like it's probably vinyl siding. You probably have some porch work to do. and you're saying, all right, now you're also watching for telltale signs. So this was lived in. That's the
Fairly
sign from last
recently, it
Trump
looks like.
round. This was lived in sometime in the last, let's say, decade at the worst. You've got some drywall damage. You definitely have some. Okay, so this could either be roof leaks, so we can't tell, or hot and cold cycles will eventually make paint and drywall fuck up. I'm looking at this in electrical. My attic has not knob and tube. It has modern wiring. It has a smoke detector. A poorly, improperly, horribly installed smoke detector, but a
The
smoke detector.
smoke detectors, nonetheless. Yeah.
And could this eventually become more living space? Yeah, I guess so. But so I'm going through here, and by the way, again, you're obviously not a great neighborhood if you're needing those.
Yeah. Bars on the windows.
I mean, I guess that could be a personal thing, but whatever. So I'm saying, all right. Now I don't see. None of the pictures showed me the systems, so I don't know if the heat works, plumbing works, if there are even any pipes, so on and so forth. But I'm also looking
Well,
at
he said all the utilities are off.
off. That doesn't tell me what functions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't care what city services are coming to it. I care, does the furnace work? That's a whole different. That's a Also, I'm looking, and again, you don't know till you get there, but this doesn't look like it's mud, meaning it doesn't look like it's rained in. So it's possible the roof is fine. So what I know this house needs is it needs $15 a square foot paint and flooring, absolutely a given. So it's so it also needs. So I'm just going to take you right through the whole tour. Exterior, everything needs $5,000 in landscaping. Done. This probably needs maybe a little more for the porches. Oh no. So let's say I'm saying $5,000 before I get on the door. I don't have any pictures to show me my services, so I might have to say, okay, let's assume my systems need at least $10,000 in work. I'm not seeing these removed, so I'm going to assume that the pipes are still existing. I'm going to go to $20 a square foot for paint and flooring because I have drywall to fix.
Right.
So I've got 25,000, 1,250 square feet times 20, 25,000 in paint and flooring.
Right.
I've got $5,000 or $10,000. I've got $5,000 before I get in the door, and I've got $10,000 in systems. So $25,000 just became $40,000 real fucking quick. I've got and I'm looking at things like very hard to tell from pictures this far away. I would guess because wooden window jambs would probably be larger. And so I'm going to guess these are double pane windows. But again, we see the security bars every freaking where. So either this was the trap house of the neighborhood and they didn't want the cops getting in. But if that was true, they wouldn't have put those on the outside. I'm not really sure. But basically, neighborhood quality would be a question for us. So I'm looking at $40,000 before, and I don't really see, unless I'm missing it, I don't see. Okay, so is that what they're calling the kitchen? I didn't even see a kitchen. So I'm saying, all right.
I don't even see a kitchen.
Yeah. So I'm saying, all right, I got to figure if I'm installing a kitchen from scratch, that's going to be a $10,000 project. So now I'm at 50. And then I got to do at least that one bathroom. So now I'm at, that bathroom could just be a fix up. So maybe 55. Do I have roof issues? I don't freaking know. Do I have clean out issues? Absolutely. So I got $5,000 in clean out. So now I'm at $60,000 in rehab. And I'm saying I'm selling it for around 110 finished. 2/3 of 110, 70. $60,000 in rehab. Now I'm at $10,000. Now, if we go to door number 1, see what he wants for it. Ha ha. And this is, again, you're not throwing it out for this. And I'm not going to tell it what I think in the rehab. I want to see what it comes up with. But, if somebody bought it from him for 40 and they put 60 into it, it's retail, which fits the model of who you may be talking to. He's a flipper. If he can't be out of it for a number worth it, he'll just eventually get to it. Okay, 55 to 70. Yeah. So, in this analysis, now what you're doing with these analyses, by the way, and I didn't do it on the first one, is you're taking this and you're putting it into a Google Doc. Can't remember which ones I want to overwrite here. Because you're putting it into a Google Doc. And you guys can tell me if maybe this part of the form needs to be modified, because what I tell people now is I tell them, name the Google Doc, download the Google Doc, and then put it in the form. I also don't mind if you make a Google Drive for everything, all the documents, and you just put that link in the form. I don't care. If you just make a Google Drive for all the documents and just put one link in the form of the Google Drive, fine. So you have the pictures, documents, research, whatever, all in one place. The point is, whatever research you do, when you run the AI, you're giving us a copy of that. When you run anything, you're giving us a copy of that. Now, we also didn't run flood zone. Flood zone is part of our math here. So this is 9801 Pratt Avenue.
He wants 40 for that. That's insane.
Well, and here's the thing. It's insane for anyone to buy, even if we were the direct buyer, forget the wholesaler side of it. Now, this is, okay, so we're running flood zone, and you give this a little bit because it loads slow, but if it's got no color to it, it's fine. If it's got color to it, start reading what the colors mean. Light blue is scary. Everything else is kind of okay, but this does not look like it's in flood zone. The next one you're going to do is you're going to do crime. You get spot crime. Or just search.
For that specific zip code?
I mean, with some of these crime apps,
because Cleveland is a little all over the place. It's not really like, I wouldn't say it's Chicago, but
well, you always, especially in cities, it's a block by block game. It's always a block by block game. I'm sorry. So what were you saying before? I didn't need to jump in there, but.
No, you are right. It depends on the block. You can live on one street and it'd be totally fine, nothing ever happens, but you go down 2 blocks.
Yep.
And not even 3,000 feet away, Well,
exactly.
Yeah, so I get that.
And I'll put this up as a resource when I find it, because I always forget what the address, what the URL is. That one's not it. Public records, that's not the one. Spot crime, not stop crime. That's what it is. Crime mapping is another one, and I'll put a few of these up there, and people can play with it. Near a location, here you go. And we don't, to a large extent, we don't even need. I mean, this is going a little above. what we need to do, but it is helpful. It is important. So like, as much as we can get on the crime, especially with all those bars we saw. Now, when we call this guy back, I'm hoping that just a bad color choice.
Jesus.
That
would be a bad color choice when you looking at crime, period.
I mean, but I'm gonna guess. Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay.
It's not a bad color choice. It's saying
right,
F for fuck. So we can be fairly sure. Now, maybe that's why those other houses are only selling for one. See, this is where you go back and you look at the houses you comped, and oh, they're a block away. Are they in the same crime neighborhood? Because maybe that's why that house is 110. Maybe that's why the comps are 110. But it also says your buyer pool is going to be different. Your number of buyers is going to be different. So if I get the 110, how long is it sitting on the market? Da, da, da. So basically, all of this is saying that and literally one of the things you'll do, and I like this site, I'm going to keep this site, although I don't like the zip code only, but whatever. But basically, you're going to PDF this down, you're going to put it as one of the uploaded files, or you're going to put it in the Google Drive. The point is, you're going to do the same thing with the flood zone. You're going to, put it in the Google Drive or blah, 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 whatever. You're going to do something. So we have all the data. So when Ryan and I swing in to look at this, we have one place to go to look at everything. And I'm now thinking about, but anyway. So we have one place to go to look at everything. We're looking at what you did with the AI. We're looking at what you did for comps data. We're looking at what you did for Zillow. And again, you're literally Googling the address, for example. You're Googling the entire address. And this is where you find a lot of the things for the form. And again, I don't care, because you're going to find, you can PDF, you can provide us this link. I always want this link. But you can PDF us what Zillow says. You can PDF us what Google Maps says. You can PDF us what Google Street View says. And I also want the links for Google Maps, Google Street View, Google whatever. Zillow, everything. I want the links to all of them, because then we can click through in about 5 minutes and go click, 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 click. And we can look at it. And this also helps you figure out your repair estimate. Now, the one last sheet I'm going to pull up for you, and I'm going to make this a, before I forget, I'm just going to open up REI homepage. I'm going to do a back office thing just real quick so I don't lose these crime statistic pages, because I always forget to put them on. I want to try to make these menus as complete as possible. So it's a custom link. It's a crime check. And of course, that's not it. I have too many damn windows open. I lost it. Menus. Crime check. And the other one I was doing was sheets.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull up the rehab estimator, which is being improved at some point, but I just haven't gotten back to it, so I got to get back to it.
Now, I did see 2 duplexes on there that I was focusing my main attention on.
All right, which we will. Yeah, we will.
Sounds
So as soon as we do this, I'll that's good. I didn't realize you dug into it that much. So we'll look at those real quick. The ones you were looking at. But in here, this particular spreadsheet has a rehab evaluator. And you fill in the green, you only fill in the yellow if you know better, which frankly you probably don't, because we don't know Cleveland's numbers. But if you're like, hey, I live in Cleveland, I know the numbers, whatever. And then you don't touch anything pink or red. And it asks you all the questions. And so you're putting in your units, your square footage per unit, your common area, whatever. And then it's saying, okay, well, if 2 apartments need it, they need a complete renovation. It's $15 a square foot. All right, so 2 apartments at 2,400 square feet per apartment, plus a piece of the common area. So $2,650 per apartment because it's taking a piece of the common area at 15 at times 2. So $2,650 times 2 times 15, and that's where we're ending up over here. So all of a sudden, this will give you your rehab estimate. So this, whatever this one is, needs $106,000 in rehab. Now, the first thing you do in any of my spreadsheets, and by using this link, is you make a copy of it, and you name it Nair, Pratt, Cleveland, Ohio, whatever. And these other pages don't matter as much. The rehab one matters, the rental one matters, the flip one matters, more or less. The rest of the pages don't yet matter. This is the one we're working on improving, so you don't have to like freak out over that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all right. So now, which ones did you want to focus on? Because so real quick to recap, as we're hitting the end of the hour, is this walked you through the tools to use,
Yeah.
and also walked you through a little bit of a way of eyeballing a property of what it's going to need. So which one did you want to look at?
It was 2342 East 88th.
All right, 2342 East 88th. It's a duplex, asking 45. Did you run any comps on it?
Yes. Looking at the comps, the stronger renovated duplexes, the sales are in like the 170 to 190 range. So I was thinking there is solid upside there.
And what did you come up with for the rents for this property?
Where did I put that? So I mean, the reason I liked it, the duplexes for that, I was thinking it could either be flipped for like around the 160 range or held as like a rental, since the estimated rents around there are like $1,000 per month.
Per apartment?
Yeah, per unit, yeah.
Okay.
So the upside is stronger compared to like single families probably, especially if the seller's like motivated,
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, he has them separately. You put them separately.
Yeah, which is actually helpful. I mean, so clearly this guy knows what he's doing, both for his own purposes and whatever. And on that last one, 40 grand's too much for us, but 40 grand is probably what he's saying. You know what? If I don't get 40 grand, I'll just do the thing, because he probably bought it for like 10.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Tell me more about why you like it, or what you research on it, or whatever.
So I mean, I basically just everything I just told you. It's basically just like, yeah, it's probably gonna be a little bit of rehab, but it's a strong upside as compared to the rehab. At least how I was looking at it. Now I always try to balance it. If the upside is greater than the rehab, like if the rehab's crazy, but the upside is like greater than the crazy, I'll just be like, okay, well, I look at it long-term type situation mindset when I think like that.
Yeah, no, and that's it. So basically, what we're doing is we're looking at it like, okay, we're saying we're looking at it as like a flipper has to be done for 70%.
Right.
So 70% of 160 is, I don't know, 110. Then we got to go and say, okay, 110 minus a wholesale fee, so now 100. And we obviously want more than 10 grand, but let's set the 10 as the baseline. Now we look at the pictures. It's a pretty house. How much do you want for it?
40. Wait, 45. Sorry.
All right. So siding, I mean, and this is stuff you'll learn. 90% chance that's aluminum. Aluminum looks like vinyl, but it's taller. Aluminums are usually 8s or 12s. I'm seeing storm windows, so I won't know like inside, but I'm going to assume the windows are all original, which isn't horrible. Questions of parking. Okay, it's got its fire escape set up, and it looks built right for the era of its build. Not going to have to replace it. And obviously, in multis, your question of who pays what utilities,
Right.
and all of a sudden, here's where our bad news starts.
Mm-hmm.
Unit 1 needs drywall, because it's hard to tell on this if they sanded this to finish, or we're having to go back in and double coat and triple coat and whatever. Has it been damaged? I'm looking here. That's a very old school tub, so you're looking at a complete gut here. You're looking at everything. Oh my God, yeah, you're looking at everything. You're looking at probably wiring, because probably Cleveland Code Office is going to say that's the old laugh behind the plaster.
Yeah.
If you're down to that, they're going to make you rewire, replumb. They might even make you insulate.
So what are we looking at? Like 90 to 110 maybe in the rehab?
Well, that's what I want to see the other unit first before I kind of call that. But basically, I'm looking at, and do we know the square footage on this one?
The square footage is, and I quote, 1858.
All right. So yeah. So
it's on a 3,000 square foot lot, which threw me off a little bit, but
which is also a very tiny lot. Obviously, you're only
yeah.
So this place needs so from the outside, I liked it. From the inside, don't say I don't like it, but it needs a lot of work.
Right.
So this is where you go into the spreadsheet and you say, okay, and the spreadsheet's ugly as fuck, but whatever. You say, okay, we'll say 1900, and let's just leave. Let's leave 500 as common area.
Mm-hmm.
The cosmetic condition. 2 units need everything, but it's not in this case. Actually, I broke my own rules. So the first thing I'm going to copy. Because you don't change that version. You download, make a copy. And the reason is you don't want to overwrite somebody else. You don't want somebody else overwriting you.
Right.
So in this case, I have, and you see that I have no drywall or whatever in here. So I'm going to do at least $50 a square foot. And again, this is, I mean, you can look, you can break it down, you can whatever. I'm going to say at least $40 a square foot. So is it 15? Yeah, if you get it done for 30, yeah, I'm going to say 40. So it's 100, yeah, at $40 a square foot. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I did it per average, so it's so I've got 2 apartments that need it at $40 a square foot. That's $100 grand before I even get there. Now, is it really going to be $100 grand? I think probably for $100 grand, I'm probably getting it done. Would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that means $40 a square foot. I'm saying that I'm just showing you how the math works. So if I were to say it's going to be at least, I would say 25 a square foot on the low end for that level of drywall, that level of paint and flooring, because paint and flooring is $15. So
Mhm.
drywall another $10 a square foot. Yeah. Windows, I've got all of them that probably need to be done. Siding, I don't have a siding problem here. Roof, let's say I don't have a roof problem. I don't know. Kitchen, I got two of them. I need two kitchens. I need two bathrooms. Do I need any half baths? No, not really. Okay, exterior, I probably have one exterior that needs a value.
Right.
And it's not 20%, it's 100% of that. You know, porches, okay, I'll kind of let that go. Basement, didn't see pictures of basement, so don't know. Furnace, do I need furnaces? I'm going to say very possibly yes. And by the way, furnaces are $3,000. That's going to be an electric heat. It all depends what you do. You know, do I have to do 2 units at? I mean, I'm not getting, and this is where a little bit of knowledge comes in. Like, electrical isn't usually installing new systems. I'm probably just going to say 8,000, and that'll probably get rid of my heat need. Maybe. Wait, no. Yeah, so I've got 2 units that need electrical, so 16,000. I'll have electrical and electric heat. May not be the choice I go with, but whatever. Plumbing, yeah, I'm going to need plumbing. Oh yeah, I'm going to need plumbing, and I'm not getting that done for $2,000. I'm replumbing the whole house, so that's going to be like $7,000. So I'm at an holding cost. I'm going to have to pay its taxes and insurance and whatever while it floats. So I'm at 121 in rehab. Now that's strong. We don't know till we get in there. But then we look at it and we say, okay, flip. ARV of, what do you think, 160?
Yeah.
Boom. So now, purchase cost incoming, what's it going to cost us to buy it and, you know, title and all that crap? It's probably not that. It's probably 3,000, something like that. When I go to sell it, I'm paying 0.08. Okay, so actually I'm paying 0.03 for transfer taxes, 0.06 for that, and I have a lender fee of 15%. Sorry, 3, 6. So now, and there is a lot of art in this, as well. So that's why you're not throwing anything out by this. But 160, I overpad everything and say, okay, if we think we're going to sell it for 160, we're actually going to sell it for 144. You know, you could go 170 and let it pad it out that way. So you put in your best guess for your ARV. This automatically pads it a tiny bit, but we can decide to waive that in certain situations. The flipper can't spend more than 120. Here's my rehab line, blah, 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 blah. So I can't spend more than 120. Well, we have a problem here. We can't spend more than, but we've already done that just in the rehab.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean we throw the deal away. It just means we say, okay, he's not at, we now then go back to our pictures. And this is what Ryan and I are doing more than what you're doing. You're putting in the best guesses you have, and then we're going in and verifying them. But basically, we're saying, okay, if I look at the rehab numbers here, and this is where I would go back and I would look at the pictures and say, okay, I don't have to re-drywall the whole damn house. I'm probably re-drywalling, honestly, truthfully, a very small part of the house. All right, so now I probably need, maybe I can get it done for $17 a square foot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I don't have to do any windows.
Right.
Maybe the windows are fine. We'll just pretend the windows are fine. If we knew the condition, it looks like he's buying tax sales, so it looks like he's not going to know the condition of the unit.
Yeah. He's buying sheriff sales, it looks like, yeah.
So like all of a sudden now we're at 94,000. By those 2 changes, we took $30,000 off our rehab. Now, All right, it's ARV 170, 119. We got 94,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then the holding cost, again, whatever that's taxes, insurance, utilities, whatever. And then this only matters if we're going to, this is what the flipper is facing. What's my wholesale fee? That's another one. And again, these spreadsheets are going to get improved at some point. But basically, so we have 119 at our 70%. The flipper can't spend more than 119.
Mm-hmm.
So the flipper has 100 grand sitting right here before he buys the house. Between 94 and 3,500.
Okay.
And because we've already 70% of this, we can leave these at zero. We don't need to pad these in because they're built into the 70%. So this is if you want to be extra careful. You don't need it. That's why these had zeros on them, because that 30% has the lender, has the flipper, has the lender, has the selling realtor already built into it. So now by this number, if we're going to make a $10,000 wholesale fee, 7,700 is what that house is probably worth. Now, if we take it and we look at it, that we have, and of course, we also would run flood zone. There's another one we would run. And so you're going to take this screen, and you can PDF these down, or you can download the Excel spreadsheet, and then you'll also do one for rental. 2 units, average rent per unit. And then your taxes, insurance, and sewer, let's say, insurance of probably 1,200, sewer, let's say 500 is right. Let's say you separate all the utilities out. Your expenses are 3,200. AGI is hard costs, hard income minus hard cost, maintenance, vacancy management, And so it's saying somebody can probably make a max offer. And I'm not, so we would need to plug all the numbers in that are correct for this deal, because one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't draw from these three yet. It will eventually. But you put your numbers in and you let it tell you some options. And so you can download a PDF of this, PDF of that, PDF of that, or you can download the spreadsheet. I don't care. Then, and right here, this is strong for Cleveland. So it would make us say, okay, AI thinks this is strong for Cleveland. Let's go find out where this should be for Cleveland. Now it's saying realistic rehab, 80 to 100. It's actually falling pretty realistically. I'm kind of shocked. Total investment, flip scenario, rental scenario. Return on investment, investor buy box. A flipper wants to buy around 2025. And a landlord could buy it at that number, perhaps.
Yeah.
But now it already kind of gave the answer.
Yeah, it says a solid rental.
Yeah, solid rental. So all of this says that, and I would still need you to go and pull all the comps and the Zillows and the Google Maps and the and do the Badly, do the prop streams, and also get what the actual rentals are. Use the FMR. And again, all of this stuff, most of the stuff, if it's not there, let me know. But we have the FMR. I thought we had FMR on here, do we? No, we got to put FMR on here. All right, so I got to look up the FMR link. The FMR is the Section 8 rentals. And truthfully, 900 to 1100, 1100, 1250. I don't believe it looked up the FMR, but whatever. The point is, your 1,000 a month isn't wrong. It's not. It's not horrible. It's not strong. It's not whatever. It's pretty okay. The FMR rent, which is fair, which is Section 8 fair market rent. And again, what you're doing after this is you're taking this, you're putting it into a Word doc, you're storing it, you're either putting it in a Google Drive with everything else. And I might just make that the rule. Just make a Google Drive, share it to us, put the link in with share it. Everybody has editor access. Boom. If you have any questions about that. But basically,
So it's saying it only works as a rental.
yeah, and so if the end buyer wants it at 35 to 38, which honestly I think might be still a little strong, but okay. We obviously can't give him 40. So when you collect the rest of the stuff on this, it's going to be a matter of going back to him and saying, hey, listen, these are the ones we think, these other ones, and here's why, and we'll just give them our folder on it. Be like, hey, listen, this is the research we did. Boom. This is why we don't think we're a player for these ones. The ugly one that looks like a little shack, whatever. The one for 110, maybe. But hey, we like this one. However, we're looking at it and saying, 40 grand is maybe a touch above where we really would even want to be, and that leaves us no room for anything to go wrong. That leaves our investors no room, and if we're not the ones flipping it, if we give it to one of our investors, we there's nothing we can do here. So we really need you to work with us on this one, and probably I'd want to be around the 20 grand, range, 20, 25, and say, listen, if I can make it work at 35, but anything goes wrong, I'm fucked. If I can get 20, 25, I'm the one, and I'm the one taking the risk here. So definitely. So, and which other ones did you want to look at, or do you think you kind of have a gist of what we're doing here?
I have a gist. So I'll go back and look through all of them, try to figure out which have the best potentials. The ones we already went over, I'm already knowing, so it won't take me that long. So you said you need the rents.
Well, basically, I don't, and I know this is extra work on you, and I feel bad about that, but there's no other way to do it. Every property run the entire form.
So every property run
everything. So basically, and I don't know what county is. If look that up. Boom. So really, what I came here to do was to grab the FMR. So I can make it a link on our page here.
So you're saying run the entire form from the form?
Hang on. Let me add to menu. So every property, all the questions. Okay, so again, forms and such. Seller form. All the questions that are here matter.
Okay.
And because not every question is there, because sometimes these other questions educate it, your scripts and questions, which is basically the same stuff. It's like, okay, what kind, square foot lot, ask price, condition of the property, what works, what doesn't, bathroom era, kitchen era, cosmetic overall, furnace age, roof age. And you can create a document with all your answers and just upload it, and again, you're emailing to me and Ryan, and you're putting the information in here. But if you create a Word doc for everything, take all the questions they answer, put it into a Word doc, and you create a Google Doc with all of your documents, your PDFs, your pictures, your FMRs, your flood zones, whatever. If you just do that, hey, listen, this form could become like 4 questions long, where you're entering in the address and the basic stuff, and then you're saying, here's the zip drive with everything else. I'm fine with that. The point is, all of these questions, or most of them, like a current mortgage, may not matter in some cases, but knowing beds, bath, water source, and wastewater are important. What works and doesn't. ARV. This is you. What did your research say? Estimated rehab cost. You, and you using the rehab spreadsheet, and you're typing that in, or however you're getting to it. Google link, Zillow link, GMaps, As much of this, the flood zone, boom. And again, you're answering your flood zone here, and then you're also uploading. That's why there's upload. That's why there's upload sections. So you're uploading your zip file, or you're putting the link to your Google Drive in here. So everything's here. Everything's emailed to me and Ryan. And this is where we're going to work to streamline this. So if you were to do this all on separate Word docs or whatever, PDFs, zip drive it or download it to Google Drive, I could eliminate half these questions. These questions, like if you were to do that and you were to upload a single file to the upload section and just say, hey, everything's in the upload, no problem. These questions are here to remind you what to ask. I don't care that they're stuck in each little hole. Because then Ryan and I can say, hey, the Google Maps is this. The Google, I mean, those links are obviously helpful. So I can click on Google Maps. But this is, bottom line, when I say run a property, Ryan and I got to be able to walk in and see as much of this as possible. And it's possible. This guy's great. He gave you a lot of information, but a lot of sellers don't. But there's nothing stopping you. When people say, "Oh, what?" and I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to put extra work on you, but I'm fine with it. But at the same time, there's no reason that you can't look up the Google answer. There's no reason you can't give the Zillow answer. There's no reason you can't get the Batch Leads answer.
Right.
Yeah. So and that's all a matter of streamlining, rather than you and me going for an hour looking up information. We can glance at a property and in 20 minutes say, hey, here's the deal. So if you can reach out to, I'm going to text Jeanette Guy and say, hey, just say, hey, we're still waiting for other information. And if you just kind of reach out to him at some point and be like, hey, we're still waiting for other information.
I was actually going.
And then
right now.
You'll keep.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm still running. Okay.
Go ahead. What?
No, keep going. I'll say it afterwards.
No, I was saying, like, on these, like, if you want to shortcut these, because we know this guy is so far off, like, if you want to do some basic research and if you want us to do some basic research, plug these into the AI, cut and paste, put some comps in there, download his pictures and plug it into the AI. Because if we're not even close, which we're not on most of these, I don't need you to go through these 20. But it's, I mean, the typical answer is yes, but whatever. Anyway, so what was your question?
No, it was more of like just letting you know, because I still have to, and I think Travis is texting the group chat, by the way. But I still have to, I had got this, an owner emailed it to me, but I didn't call him or nothing yet. From a glance, he wants retail, but I didn't want to throw it completely out because I didn't call him or nothing yet, because I was doing my research on it before I got on the meeting.
Okay, yeah.
I just wanted to give you a heads up that it could be something. If he's not looking to negotiate, which I hope so, because it's been sitting on Zillow for like 77 days. So that tells me one thing already. You tested the market and the market said, fuck off. So I'm going to see, because he sent it to me. I didn't go out fishing. It was from the owner himself. He emailed it to me. So I'm going to see if he's open to negotiations. If he is, I'll keep you posted. I just wanted to let you know.
Right, but here's the thing, and this is why I'm trying to make the form easier, is don't throw anything out before you talk to us.
Okay.
Your gut is right, but your gut is still new to this. All of our, I mean, and Ryan and I screw up with our own guts. That's why collecting all the information, every recipe, you can't make a cake by saying, let me throw in 3 ingredients, all that cake didn't work.
Yeah.
You have to pull the information through, put it in the system. Again, that's what I'm saying to make it easier. If you just want to make a Google Drive or a zip folder and say, hey guys, here's a zip, whatever. But most zips are too big to email, so you end up putting it on Google anyway. I mean, to a certain extent, it's obvious if they want 100 and it's worth 10, but it's very easy, especially if you're only living on partial information, to really kind of blow it out of the water. Hell, I even did that when you were on a phone call a couple of days ago with somebody. I did that with the one local here that I went over to, and she wanted 90, and I let the deal walk away because I didn't slow it down and stop to think about it. Kind of go over with Ryan, say, and the answer we might have come up with together is it's close enough to be worth a shot at. So what I'm saying is collect enough so the three of us can talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
I think
We'll do.
All right. Bye. Where the hell is StreamYard? Where the hell is StreamYard? It's over here somewhere. Stop sharing. Okay, so where the hell is StreamYard? There's